Hi all, I thought it would be useful for me to meet you again to do this video again to show you what the progress of the South Staff's Send prototype is all about and what's actually happened so far. We've had a chance now to meet twice as hubs, and I'll explain a little bit more about that for people who are unsure about that. In South Staff there are 4 hubs. We've got Penkridge, Codsall, Great Worley, Cheslin, Hay and Kimber and Womburn. We've met approximately twice now on all of those, and there are approximately 12 heads again in each meeting, and they cover those various 4 areas. The attendance of heads and local authority at the moment has been very good. Now, who is at the meeting is critical, if you remember, because we wanted to speed up the send process because there was too many delays in the system, and that's actually, we've seen a great improvement in that. But it depends on who's at the meeting, because what we want people to do is to make those decisions as soon as we possibly can to stop delays. So we've had Ed Sykes at the meeting, we've had SEND, we've had Family Services, SENCOs, the police thinking of engaging in those as well, and we've obviously had the special school representation as well. All of those people are critical to the process. We want to make sure that people are helped in an early stage rather than later on. We've had some successes so far because people have been not only students whose needs have been met at the meeting. We always make sure we measure the impact. So the first question would be, what is the outcome you want for this student? And we make sure that we continue to measure that throughout every other meeting we go to, so those students will be brought up on every occasion. What we also do is we gather CPD evidence. So schools will tell us what they're having difficulties with at the particular moment, and we will then target CPD to those kind of needs of those schools. And it's interesting because there's often common concerns, and always has been, I suppose. The coordinator is critical to this approach. So for people who are doing this in other areas, the coordinator makes sure that the meetings are obviously called, because head teachers are busy, as you know, and we make sure that we continue that process as we go through. So the coordinator makes sure that not only things are being done in between meetings, but also records everything at the meeting and makes sure that people are aware of what they've got to do and what their responsibilities are. And that's really, really critical. You must do that. And we've also got between meetings, obviously, because there's 6 meetings a year. So we're asking a lot of time to be given up by head teachers. So there's 6 meetings a year at the 6 hubs, and there's an emergency procedure in between the hubs as well, which is what you would expect. We've done the 2nd round of meetings. We're on the 3rd round of meetings, and we've seen some real impact. Early intervention is obviously important. We're also now on the 2nd layer, that's the first. We've got the hubs that meet 6 times a year, that discuss the students, the outcomes, the inputs, all those kind of things, and we get things done as soon as we possibly can. The next layer is called the SIB group, the South Staff Send and Inclusion Board. This group at the moment is made of representatives from a range of people from the LA, and this is so that things can change as and when they need to. Because remember, this is a prototype, and the difference between a prototype is that basically things can change as it goes along. And so if we're making mistakes, we can change things. We have one form, for instance, that goes to the hub for referral. That form serves many purposes. So you have got to have hundreds of forms. One will do the family service as well, for example, and it will go on to other things as well. So back to the 2nd layer, which is the SIB group. That is the group that evaluates the progress of the project and keeps changing it, asking questions, making us think rigorously about our decisions, and also we're getting people in. For instance, the nurses came to the last meeting. We've got early years now coming to the meeting as well. So all of those kind of people are contributing to make those meetings more efficient, is what we're doing. The coordinator then is also at that meeting, and the coordinator then will go on to look at training for everybody, maybe SENCOs, maybe head of years, whatever, head teachers, and she will do that as well. So the coordinator will look at all those kind of things. She's also established, the coordinator has established a chat line for the Senkos. So if there's a Senko got a problem or an issue, she can just go online and chat to other Senkos as well. And again, problems could be solved as quickly as possible. So that's happened. And we've also got a one-stop shop where we can go, like a website, which has got all the forms and all the information, the minutes, etc., all those kind of things on as well. So that's really good as well. Next steps. We've got to include early years because early years is essential. There's a real gap there. So we are looking at our next meeting, we'll be talking about those. We're also developing the governance because the hope is that we'll have the money transferred to the South Staffs area, so we will be able to make decisions, local decisions, and I think that's the way forward for any of you who are also trying to do that. And I think that's the way forward of the authority. They want everybody now to be in these clusters or in the 8 districts split up like this, and I think it's a sensible thing to do because every area is different basically. So we're also now looking at the inclusion aspect of it because you can't divorce the two. 70% of students that have got behavioural needs have usually got a SEND need as well. So if you can address the SEND need, obviously, sometimes the other one mends itself really. It's early days yet. There are a lot of green shoots. It's a very exciting project. Lots of authorities are interested in looking at what we're doing, and they're watching us very carefully. I just think that I will do a video again towards the end of the project to show you some of the outcomes that we've had. It's looking good at the moment. See you all soon. Bye bye.